Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. We're on for our second live show today. It's one of those days. And today with us, we have Evan from ERGJ Enterprises. I'm going to let him do a better intro of his name. But today we're talking about 3 ways e-commerce and wealth building can change your life in 5 years. Many of you come on the show, you're like, how long? It's always in the comments. Again, I will have the comments up so you guys have questions. Tap in and ask them. And Evan, please introduce yourself to the audience.
What's going on, my beautiful people? It's ERGJ. I'm a certified financial educator. I'm founder of the New Black Wall Street. And my goal is really to bring investment education to our communities, to show people how to make their money work harder for them than they work for their money. That's been one thing that's been missing, people learning how to actually put their money to work for them. I know that Erica does a lot in the real estate field where I'm into all types of investments, whether it be stock market, whether it be real estate or anything like that. I'm trying to always find ways to earn passive and residual income and then teach the next generation about the things that I wish I would have learned when I was in the 5th grade.
Love it. Love it. You're talking to the kids. I love that. So explain some of what you're wearing and what's behind you, because I know you've been selling a lot of different things via e-commerce.
Yeah, been doing a lot of e-commerce, man. So I do some import from Africa. So I got the dashikis, soap, shampoo, all the essentials. So you see the dashiki that I have on is a hooded dashiki, $25. You know what I'm saying? Put you in the game. But then we also got the non-hooded ones, wrap skirts, just kind of anything. You know what, Erica? I did not know I had fashion sense until I start getting into this game. So I got this eye for stuff, head wraps, all different types of stuff, just trying to, number one, support Africa, because anything that I do, anytime I do business with them, I'm actually helping the kids in Africa. That's the main reason why I do it. But then I'm also bringing a different swag, a different flavor back over to the States and allowing them to wear things like Africans do. So I've got quite a bit, I would say, on e-commerce at this time. What I would consider myself to be would be a wholesale distributor, where I'm importing, buying wholesale, or making deals, buying wholesale, books, stuff like that. So anything that I think would be of value, that number one, I can help somebody else with. So say, for example, you wrote a book, Erica, and you're having a hard time selling it. Well, I'll come in and use my network to help you sell your stuff, buy a bulk of books from you, and then sell it all over the place. So that's kind of what I love about e-commerce. It gives you access to the globe. You're not subject to what's in your local area. You can go wherever you want, wherever somebody can find you. You can have a potential customer.
Yeah, I'm really loving e-commerce, even though it's 9% of the market, like 80% is still service, is still out there, what we call the offline. And so even though I'm a big preacher of service businesses for people who are like, I'm broke, if you've got a little bit of change or you've got time in your afternoon to build, if you lock somebody in their house for a month with a computer and $500, they're going to be unstoppable, because it depends on the mindset of how much they want to do. And there's several articles I've been sharing with you guys of like 3 or 4, I think at this time, convicts, ex-felons who got out, one of the guys white, a couple of the guys are white, and a couple of guys are black. But basically they all did the same thing. They went online. What's hot now? Amazon's hot? I'll do that. What's hot? I can be a reseller, or I can have a Shopify site. One guy sells survival gear, made $1 million. And so you really have to not limit yourself and be like, well, I live here and people won't give me a job because I'm a felon. You really have to really think ahead and try to grow.
Yeah,
your structure.
Absolutely. I mean, your mind. I mean, I'm at a whole different level. I don't even use none of that stuff. Like I'm my own enterprise. You know what I'm saying? So I figured out how to do. Yeah, I figured out how to do. Yeah, I figured out how to do commercial shipping. I figured out how to get stuff out in a timely manner. So now I'm like my own Amazon. Now I might not have a network like Amazon, but I'm doing fairly well for my little bit of network that I have. So.
Well, that's the key. That's also part of what I was going to lead into, but you beat me to it. But definitely that's the key, right? So we see right now, ESPN just laid off. I just talked about it in a previous channel, but I'm going to bring it in because it's important. ESPN just laid off 100 people. A couple years ago, they laid off 300. Callan Cowherd, several Skip Bayless, all these people saw the writing on the wall and started their own shows. So now you can catch Callan Cowherd all over the place. You can see him on ESPN. You can see his clips online, because it's his platform.
Right.
Same thing with Bill O'Reilly. You know, everybody's like, we're getting Bill O'Reilly out of there, man. Okay, you got him out of there, but now Bill O'Reilly has his own podcast and people can pay him millions of dollars directly to advertise on his platform. Again, I keep trying to tell people, you know, a lot of people are like, I'm an Amazon millionaire. Okay, I personally, well, right now on this channel, I'm not giving their names, but I know 7 people who are big figures on Amazon. All they're doing every time I talk to them is, Erica, how do I get in real estate? How do I get into something else? Because the margins are tighter. They're going to kick off a lot of sellers as upcoming years come. And they either know they either have to go get a warehouse, direct to customer. They have to start building a website, or they have to do something. And so I know those people personally. And so I love it when people are like, I'm going to go get on Amazon. I'm like, you're better off starting from scratch with your own website and your own shipping from your spot. The people are like, well, they have all this traffic. But that's the key. That's the key in being a real business owner, learning how to get traffic.
Man, getting traffic, it's a strategy. It is really not that difficult to do once you once you learn how to, and once you learn a little bit about e-commerce. You know, how to boost yourself up, how to, you know, you got to invest in yourself if you really want to do it. But the thing is, it's freedom. You know, like I get orders all types of the night, you know what I mean? They can't go out to the morning, so I fulfill those orders. And what I think about, Eric, is just it's the supply chain at the end of the day. You know, you got the manufacturer, you got your sellers, your wholesalers, your distributors, and you got your customer. Well, I'm the wholesale and distributor, so instead of Walmart coming in and being a distributor or being a market for people, I'll become a market for my own community or for my own network. And it works. I mean, as long as you bring a value to the marketplace, somebody will pay you for it. You know, one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I know a guy who hauls junk, and his son, who, you know, this is the funny part. His son moved back in home, and everybody's like, oh, man, get your son out of there, man, get your son out of the house. His son now has gone through the thrift store and gone through the yard and cleaned things up, taking pictures of them, sell them on eBay and sell them on eBay and sell them on Craigslist.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a little bit of teamwork there. That's kind of also why I was talking about commerce, because it's a family thing. He has created, in all this hauling of junk, cash money opportunities for his son. Now he cleans out foreclosure. He cleans out when tenants skip. He cleans out, you know, you name it, remodels. He cleans them out. And so sometimes he finds old records, finds old signs, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about it, Erica, to be able to create opportunity. So when I think about what I'm doing now with, let's just say, with my African store, right? I've been able to help 2 other people get their African store started. Mm-hmm. So they buy stuff through me to be able to, you know, to be able to have their store, and they sell to their network. So that's just creating more freedom or more opportunity for other people. And I've done that across the platform with many of my other businesses. I always try to find a way to put somebody else in business so that they can free themselves and they can have another stream, and they can relieve some stress, know that they got another, you know, more money coming in from somewhere else, and next thing you know, they're free, and hopefully they do the same thing and they pay it for it. So the beautiful thing about it, I think that's what I'm most proud about, is being able to help other people free themselves from that one stream of income that could be keeping them from their dreams.
This is a big reason why I do what I do. I see some questions in there. I'm gonna get to you guys, I promise. The big thing, the reason why I do what I do is each one teach one. And I felt so blessed knowing this information. And when I went to school and I was talking about how my family owns businesses, the kids would look at me like, what? That's crazy. And so when I hear my nephew, who's 10 years old, start a little lawn care business, and, like, you know, he remembers me having a brick and mortar coffee shop and my sister having a hair salon down the street, that's what he talks about. And so family is at the center of this, and it's really important. I see a lot of ladies who like natural hair care products, holistic products. They want to sell them because at the end of the day, it's going to take a lot of your time in the beginning. But if you start adding employees, you start really growing the traffic levels, you can spend more time with your family. You can get in those vacations. You can get in that time. Your kids can see you from start to finish. How do you start a business? How do you run one? And I think that's.
But even with that, when you start talking about time, right, my business travels with me. So I literally just take my laptop to wherever we're going on vacation, and then I set my hours for when I want to work, and then I'll spend the rest of my time with my family. So I'm never away from my family. If I need to shut it down right now and go take care of something, I go take care of it. So the freedom that comes with using e-commerce to be able to free yourself, because people, here's the premise, that there are way more consumers than there are sellers. There are way more consumers than there are sellers. So it's almost like, well, why don't I just become a seller of something? Because I know there's plenty of consumers out there that's looking to buy something from someone, more so than they are looking to sell something or so. It's a different, most people are not thinking about how they can generate income by selling something. And most people are scared of the word sell.
So, salesman, if you look up the word salesman, people associated with dirty, greedy, grimy. Japanese, Asian cultures, African cultures, they elevate salesmen. Elevate. Now, in African cultures, doctors, healthcare workers are higher, but in Asian cultures, salesmen. The epitome of that culture is salesman, because if you ever read Grant Cardone's book, is after he traveled overseas, he realized business doesn't move without sales. If you don't have a salesman, the iPhone just sits there. Regardless of how beautiful it is, Apple still had to sell it to you. They still had to, oh, this is sexy, you need this phone. They still had to sell it to you, and people bought. Same phone over and over. Now, here's someone in here, I'm gonna look over 2 questions. Antoinette, Aline, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Do you have any resources that teach us how to get traffic? I do have some courses on my site, but you know, Evan, you might have something, I don't know, but the top 3 ways, and I keep it very simple, the top 3 ways to get traffic is organic, influencer, which means like collaborations, and paid. What is the most reliable and resourceful out of those 3? The paid. You know, I can do collabos all day all over the internet, and it doesn't guarantee that your audience will buy what I sell, or my audience will buy what you sell. Organic is just people stumbling across you, and you're magical and you're wonderful. But what I can scale, what I can track, what I can do is paid. And I'll give a small example, and I'll switch it over to Evan. My sister has a hair salon in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I paid $25 for an ad, and I made it. I mean, I narrowed that thing down to everything you can think of on Facebook for people to see, hey, this is her, blah, blah, blah. Her phone rang for 2 weeks. And that was $25, and that was Facebook, and that was not even a year ago. And so, and then on the flip side, my sister put 2 signs out on 2 busy streets, same level of traction. We tested it, just phone ringing off the hook. So you have to decide what works for you. So Antoinette, let's say you have a credit repair business or some kind of business that people can call a number and talk to you, put a sign out, but also niche down where you can market. If it's on Facebook, do it on Facebook. If it's YouTube, things I've taught in one of my classes, on my courses on my site, you can see, is if you're on YouTube, become the spokesperson of your city. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're in Austin, Texas. I want you, every time you're talking, is Antoinette, Austin, Texas, somewhere in the title, you know, hair braider of Austin, Texas, you know, braids of Austin, Texas, every time. So when people go to Google Austin, Texas, or even Google hair or Austin, Texas, you would be the one to show up every single time. But it still works. So Evan, you can elaborate on how do you grow traffic? She's like, how do you grow traffic, and do you have any resources on how to grow traffic?
Growing traffic, I think it's, along with what you said, it's about being consistent. Here's how I equate it. McDonald's has no problem showing you a million times a day a hamburger, but yet many people have businesses and they have a hard time showing their business a million times. So I think it's all about consistency. Like, once you become consistent, then you become a person or a business that people know, like, and they trust. And people do business with people that they know, like, and they trust. So if you can become so relevant and bring enough value with whatever that you're doing. Now, I can tell you some things that don't work because people do a lot of stuff that don't work, right?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Those are some things you want to avoid, some of the stuff that doesn't work. But she mentioned paid advertising. That works for me, especially when I'm targeting. I know where I'm going. So if I were to go on vacation, right? When I go on vacation, I'm going to put an ad out for wherever I'm going so that they know that I'm coming in town. And when I come in town, I'm letting them know what I'm selling in my ad so that they can be ready to buy when I get there. Very simple concept, but that's me drawing traffic to a place that I'm probably not going to go again. But once I get them, they'll be following me for the rest of their life. So, so that's paid targeting. But if depending on where you are, what you do, organic works as well. But organic comes through you bringing value into these people's lives, and it's more than just a link. This is the problem. Most people think they can drop a link somewhere and somebody's going, why would I want to click on your link? Do you know how many links I get every day?
Every day.
I can't click on them. I can't click on everything. So providing a reason why someone should click on your link versus just dropping a link has a lot more impact, I would say, as far as from an organic standpoint. But hopefully you can build your organic pipeline up just from bringing value into your people that you know, like, and trust live while you're working on your paid and while you're working on your collabos, because you can get more collabos, right, when you become a person of influence. People want you on their show. You can bring in value to their show, so that works as well. So those are a couple of things that I could say. SEO, you got to do that, right? If you're on e-commerce, you need to get an SEO expert so they can get you, so they can help you boost your stuff up above everybody else's, like Erica just said with the whole Austin, Texas thing. That's an SEO tip to boost you up as well, so people can see your stuff from obscurity.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a real estate agent, let's say even if you're in a small town, you have a lot of people moving from New York, Pennsylvania, out of state places, and they want to see where you live. They want to retire, and so they look. And I have friends in North Carolina who do this right now. They become the person of their town. If they see a lot of retirees moving to their town, all of a sudden they flip that camera on and they show you the parks, the lakes, the water, the town restaurants, and they always put the town name in there and their name in there. Your realtor, blah blah blah. You know, and I'm not shutting him out because, you know, I don't want him to be like, stop telling people my strategy. But he does that and it works. And there's thousands of people every year moving to North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia as retirement from New York. And that's what they do. They go look online, they Google, and that's how they find things. So a part of why I wanted to bring Evan on here and talk about in the 5-year span, wealth building and e-commerce, is in 5 years, a lot of things can happen. And some of the examples I want to give is Elliot Huss. From Strength Camp, you know, good looking guy. You know, he's Guatemalan, but he looks like a black guy. He basically is. Just, you know, the slave ship stopped at different ports. That's how I'll say that, right? So basically every day, did a video every day for 5 years, and it wasn't until the 5-year mark where it just. So I don't have a problem with organic traffic. You telling people all the time who you are, what you do. Consistency works. Just be prepared. It might take 2 to 5 years. And a lot of times you're seeing that right now with YouTube and Facebook. You'll see people that blow up in 6 months, blow up in 2 years. It's because of money. It's because money is really heavily forced into the advertising levels. Now, some people organically blow up, and that's true. But the key to all that, what I want to bring up, is your health. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news. Sometimes I try to go low information on the news. A guy went to go pick up his last check, shot his boss, and shot himself. Now, why did that happen? Because your health is important. And I don't just mean what you're eating and what you're drinking. I mean your mental health. Your mental health is paramount. And I meet people all the time say, I just can't work for anybody else, Erica. And I go, you know why? You've probably been in environments where people were not smarter than you. And you felt, why am I taking advice from this person? Steve Harvey says it all the time. Why are you over me? Why are you directing me? And if you think you're that person or that's your personality, well, you need to find steps in order to create that freedom for yourself. And then that's just is what it is. You know, everybody's not made for corporate America. Everybody's not made for different types of lives. But if you find yourself going, when I'm at work, I'm depressed or I can't breathe, I really want you to take time and step back. And there's still an old statistic that still is true. People have the most heart attacks on Monday morning between, I think, 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. And it's that going to work, it's that traffic, it's the stress, it's the mental buildup of having to be somewhere you don't like. I even had a friend who he was at his boss said something racist. Now this guy, he's black, but he looks white. I mean, for all intents and purposes, he has green eyes. His mom's half white. He's from Louisiana, and you wouldn't know. You'd think maybe he's a Creole. You don't know. His hair's super straight, and his boss just let the N-word out. And he went to his office, and he said he didn't know what to do. He did not know what to do. And later, one of the secretaries said, "Oh my God, are you crazy? you know, Adrian is Black. And, you know, so the boss is like, what can I do to make up for it? But you already experienced the injury and you're showing up working with people who already said something. So, you know, my friend Adrian, I'm trying not to say his last name. His boss is like, what can I do? And Adrian said, I need you to donate money to a HBCU. I think it's Grambling or whoever is in Louisiana near his hometown. And it was so funny. That's what his boss did. His boss has been doing it for 3 years now. And also he couldn't afford to lose Adrian. Adrian's a really big salesman and this is a small company. And so also what I tell people is these small companies are a great place to jump in because you can not only meet the vice president, but the president, but also you know the techniques to go do it on your own now. Because you see a small business doing it, you could do it too. But that's just one of my comments on health is it's, you know, there's a lot of people experiencing low T from bad work environments. There's a lot of women who are depressed and I just want you to have the opportunity of freedom. And I don't know about your past working experience, Evan. Have you ever had that bad work environments?
Absolutely. That's what drove me to say, forget corporate America. And it has more. And here's the thing I want people to understand about that is that more often than not, you chose your work. And it's the funniest thing. Like, you know what I mean? You went to the interview. They asked if you wanted the job after you got the interview. You said yes. You signed on the dotted line. You was all excited. And then at some point in time down the road, you get a new manager or you go through some change, maybe go through some promotion, some demotion, or they're changing at the top. And all of a sudden you don't like your job anymore. But you also have to remember at one point you loved your job. So it's still a choice. Like you choose to go to work every day. You choose to be there. So this is why I have a problem with people saying like the plantation or corporate slaves. If they have no choice, you know what I mean?
Oh,
they're not making any
thank you.
choice.
I can't comment because of affiliation, but thank you.
But they act as if they have no choice in what they can and cannot do. You just choose a different path. So if you are that person, I was that person. I was going to work every day. You know, had headaches and stuff. I was like, I had never felt that way. I was like, where is this coming from? I knew I had to make a change. My body was letting me know that I had to make a change. My body was letting me know that I need to move on. My body was letting me know that it was time to do something different. And too many of us, I believe, know that it's time to do something different, but yet we still don't do anything different. And we continue to just drive ourselves to the grave. So, so putting yourself in position, and then putting yourself in position to take control of your life, I think is paramount. When you take control of your life isn't going to be involved. It's not going to include stress because you're not going to control your life to stress. You know, you're not going to be. So when you take control of it and you direct where you want to go, that's where you go. So, but I knew I couldn't do it. I knew that every day that passed, I tried the vacation thing. I tried the meditation stuff. I tried the walks in the afternoon. I tried all that stuff. But it still kept coming back and coming back. And that was just the universe telling me, time to go, time to move, time to do something different. And I just decided I was going to take control of my life.
That's a big reason why I started doing the credit repair and talking to people about debt is because they would be working a job they hated for years. And it's because they bought a brand new car when they got the new job. They bought a brand new house. They bought brand new furniture. They were elevating their lifestyle, getting into a job, and they hated the job. And you're like, but now you're trapped. You've trapped yourself. Now they still can make their decision, their freedom to do something different, but it also requires them to lower some of that debt or have something that pays for that debt.
Absolutely.
A key example of the whole headache nature. I remember going to work one time, and this is actually true story of how my painting company got started. I was in an office doing billing, and in billing, as a billing manager, you're doing all your receipts, in case people pay their rent, and I was seeing the numbers, like with new eyes. Like, look at how many people are paying their rent. Look how much late fees we're getting. Look how much money we got off the washer and dryers in the units. Look how much money we're kicking in here. Also, there was a painting company we were paying, and because we were too cheap, the company did not want to pay for a full-time painter all year long, even though we have 600 unit apartment complex, huge, big, not a little complex. I'm talking about big 3-bedroom units, sometimes big 2-bedroom units. And so we were paying a guy who was 32 and I was 30 at the time, I think. No, I was 29 at the time. And he was a couple years older than me. He was making $500,000, Evan.
Ooh.
$500,000 off of us outsourcing painting because our boss was too cheap to hire some painter for $50,000 a year to work all year long. Too cheap. So I was like, that was the wake up call. Like, it wasn't the rents coming in, it wasn't the repairs. It was seeing a kid that was almost my age, a little bit older than me, and all he had done was send guys, a couple Hispanic guys, usually two or three, but usually one or two, to come paint for $15 an hour or less. And they would come, they paint the door, they sand the walls, they do what they had to do. I mean, it was just the most eye-opening. I was like, I have to leave here. I have to leave here and start a painting business immediately. And people were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have to leave here immediately. And I just like, I mean, it was along the journey of getting my real estate license and all those things, and just realizing, and the whole compass that is real estate, from my family, seeing my uncles own real estate, seeing up and down the street where his mom lives, seeing my mom own real estate, seeing other people own real estate, going, this, being an investor and owning a business are the ways to go, you know? So I see there's some more comments, but health, your mental health is so important. Being somewhere you don't want to be. I actually have 4 clients that are from watching these shows who have been sick at work, and that's why they reached out to me. So
yeah, I mean, how many more headaches do you got to experience?
Boy, I'm telling you. And for some people, it maybe just keep switching jobs until they can get their stuff straight. But at the end of the day, you have to have a plan. And I'm being careful. There's a lot of channels on YouTube right now of Asian young guys who are like second generations, who parents forced them into school, forced them into engineering. They became engineers and were like, this is horrible. And they immediately bought real estate and they lowered all their debt. And that's literally some of the channels that are coming out on YouTube right now. There's a couple people with really big names who, that's all their channel is about. I was like, I got out of there.
Yeah.
So Alvin said, you're a smart brother. I'm pretty sure Evan says, thank you. Sister, I don't know how to say your name. Sister Nature, maybe? Yes, brother, so true. Alvin III said, jobs can help as long as you have an exit strategy, developing and not stay too long. Job dependency is a trap, not the job itself. Okay. The reason high five in the air, Alvin, is several people I've encountered who've come to Austin with no job. I was one of them. Nothing on my back. I worked 2-3 jobs for a little bit, and you know what it did? It focused my mind to go, I do not want to do this at all. And then I jumped into apartment industry, and then after I was in apartment industry, I was like, ooh, I know what I want to do now. And it is I think work is very important. Work helps you figure out what you're trying to do. And also until you have a strategy. Jax Vision says, hi, Erica, so true. Working for someone who is beneath you is stressful. Antonio Franklin says, I'm a young Black male from Chicago, and I want to know, are there conferences or programs for young people like myself who are entrepreneurs whose goal is to help educate Black youth with investing? Did you get all that, Evan?
Yeah. I did. I get all that. Are there programs? I mean, I created a
program. He said he's from Chicago, and conferences or programs for young people like myself. So you could hit up Evan. Evan actually has a program for youth about business.
That's what I do. I teach kids about investing. So if you're asking, are there programs? I mean, I'm creating, programs in my local area. I'm creating opportunities to go out and teach wherever I can, whether it be with nonprofits. So as a for-profit entity, nonprofits can actually hire me to come in and teach there as a subject matter expert to be able to teach their constituents. So I'm creating stuff now. I don't know what there is all across the country, but I know what I'm doing my little part, my little area. So if that's something that you're interested in and learning how I've done what I've done, I mean, I'll be more than happy to speak to you and see if there's any type of collaboration that's available there, if that's something that you're truly passionate about, because it does take a passion to do it, because it takes a passion to do it. You got a lot of parents that are in the way of their children getting knowledge like this. So it takes a little bit of forethought, a little bit of, and a lot of passion. It's got to be something that you really want to do, because teaching people about money is not easy. It's worth it, but it's not easy. So,
and people, I don't know if they've heard me on this channel. I said the fastest way to get to you is give them some money. And people are like, what? What do you mean? And I go, some of the most influential people I know to this date is One was my cousin who hired me, my first job at a dollar store when I was 14. He owned his dollar store. The next is a guy in our neighborhood black guy, he hired his son and a couple of his friends to work his lawn care business. And our neighbor, a white neighbor around the corner who hired his son and a couple of his friends to work a lawn care business. Those kids are going to learn more about jobs and opportunity from a person who's doing it than not. So Anthony and even Evan, if you guys are doing it, kids are looking to you because you're actually doing it. And it's a really important thing. I see on here, I was going to say, depending on your city, so like I'm in Austin, but even in North Carolina, the city itself sometimes will do business informationals, right? Where they'll talk about business and credit and capital. Not always the best ones, but they're pretty basic and give you an opportunity to meet other people in your city who are in that same mindset. I think that's the most important thing you can do, even if you're in Chicago, is go find some meetup groups, go find groups of people who are talking business and go be around them. I mean, go work for a real estate investor for a year or two. You'll learn a ton. Or people who are, whatever your passion is. If it's financials, can you go work for an accountant? Can you go work for Edward Jones? Something, even if it's the front desk. Me working at H&R Block for 3 years changed my life. How I see numbers, how I see taxes, how I see numbers. Woo! You just don't understand. Alvin Hodger said, high five, back at you, Erica, working my plan. No, thank you. Antonio Franklin, okay, sorry, I'm picking the phone up. I think he says, the males in my neighborhood know a low-wage 9-to-5, want to work, and need an outlet. I think the information you provide would help. Antonio Frank, I've got the passion. Antonio, I would say share this video, share Evan's videos. I think that'll be a really helpful way. Also, Evan probably could do like some kind of a Skype or something with you guys. It just depends. Evan, I think Evan will give me his links at the end of this so I can put them in below so you guys can contact Evan. Also, okay, so Evan, legacy and wealth, the reason for e-commerce and wealth building. So with wealth building, here's my kicker. I talk about all the time on this channel, lendingclub.com, prosper.com, Robinhood app. What other things have I mentioned on this channel? A couple other ones, but basically I stick in a very simple frame. Evan has more diversity than me, most likely, but I usually go monthly dividend stocks and lending club notes, peer-to-peer lending. Why do I do that? I invested $1,000 into 40 notes around, how many years ago is that at this point? Maybe 3, almost 4 years now. And I ended up getting 13% return on my notes. Also, I went to the bank and they were like, wow, look at you. But anyway, it was super cool. But, another person you can check out for that is Mr. Money Mustache. He has $30,000 in the lending club. He gets about $500 a month coming from people paying the payments back and interest. Engineered Truth, he also has $30,000 in his lending club account. He gets back about $500 to $600 a month and people paying back in interest. Use what works. Banks have given people a hard time, so people go look for alternative opportunities. So that's kind of my range of investing. And the reason I do that is 1, legacy, 2, wealth. In 5 years, I want to look up and go, if I don't want to do anything, I just want to sit at home with these future babies I'm going to have, I can do that. And so a lot of clients that come on here, they go, how fast or how slow can I retire? And I tell you, it's up to you. It's absolutely up to you. If you want to retire 5 years from now, well, that means you're going to have to buy 2 or 3 properties a year. If that's your avenue is rental, 2 or 3 properties a year, so that in the end of 5 years, you have 10 or more properties. Because if you have $900 tenant money coming in every month off of 10 properties, that's $9,000 a month coming in. That's $108,000 gross. Now, if you want to go, Erica, that's gross. That's not net after mortgages. Okay, let's cut it in half. You have $50,000 coming in. What can you do with a $50,000 additional money on top of your job right now? So it's a way to think about it. It's a way to think about retirement. Same thing if you're building an e-commerce site. If in 5 years, this site's kicking it, just kicking it, and you can walk away from your job, is it worth it? A lot of people want things to happen in 30 days and they just don't. Any thoughts on that, Evan?
Well, I think you're shortchanging yourself when you say that those are the only 2. I mean, if you think about the platform you've already created and how that's bringing back a return on investment as well. You just mentioned some classes. I imagine your classes at this point are probably automated. They can just get them and click and play. That's an investment. That's passive income. So,
oh yeah, I'm just giving a short version, but go ahead.
But yeah, you definitely at the end of the day, I encourage people to get to a place where they move in from linear income to some type of passive portfolio income. You at the end of the day, that's what retirement is about, right? Retirement is about your money making money, and that money paying your bills. Let me repeat that again. Your money making money, and the money that your money has made pays your bill. So you want your that's what retirement is. Retirement is you growing your capital up to a certain point that now you lend that money out, you get interest back, and the interest pays your bills. It pays your living expenses. And then hopefully you're at a point with time you pass away that you pass all that principal to your next generation. So so investing is key. Learning to do it in whatever capacity that you decide to do it upon, whether that be real estate, stocks, bonds, you got Bitcoin, you got Forex, your own business, all these different avenues that are available to everyone because we have access. We got the whole world in our hand, and most people just aren't using it for that capacity. Some people are, most people aren't. So I just decided, Eric, that I was going to stop playing games. I was going to stop playing Madden. I was going to play the stock market. You know what I'm saying? That's just a decision I made. If I can learn the playbook, I can learn I can learn some financials. It's just that simple. It's just a switch in focus to doing things that's going to align with wherever you want to go in your life. If you don't want to retire, if you want to retire broke, keep on playing Madden. If you don't, do something different.
For sure. I mean, I couldn't go over everything I'm invested in a timely manner without the whiteboard in my office downstairs. Like literally, I have to write on the whiteboard, and like I buy royalties, I buy silver, I buy gold. I would run out of whiteboard space. Now, I've actually wrote a blog article about investing across the table, and I've literally imagine your life as a table is what I tell everybody here. Okay. On the table is, your spouse, your kids, your future debts, your health, your insurance, everything, your car payments, everything's on top of the table. What's on the bottom of the table? Woo, that's a weak table. It's just your job and your 401k. That's still a very weak table. Now, if you start adding things as in peer-to-peer lending, real estate investments, land, gold, silver, just you keep adding legs to that table, the stronger that table becomes. And I think people only get that information when they lose a job or something happens to their health and they can't work. And all of a sudden the lights come on. They have to learn how to invest across the board into other opportunities. The big reason I do credit repair is a lot of people will lose a car, lose houses, lose apartments because they didn't have an additional $500 to $1,000. I mean, a credit card could have covered that, but also savings should have covered that. Or, bars, silver, whatever you had stacked up should have covered that. So there's a reason we talk about it the way we do. I mean, I'll do another video at some point of all the different things I try to invest in. But as I told on the last video, I got identity theft. So I'm very careful now about what I talk about or the screens I share of my private accounts. So we've got a couple more questions here. Oh, goodness. Oh, let me roll back up. Hold on, y'all. Antoinette, sorry. If you have a ton of business ideals, how do you choose which one to start with? I have an answer, but I want to hear your answer first, Evan.
For me, the one that's going to pay me the quickest. That's it. Whichever one's going to put money in my hand right now, that's where I'm starting. I've got plenty of businesses in me, but I always start with the one that's going to put capital in my hand, bring me a quicker return on investment, because that way I'll have that capital to be able to start the next venture and the next venture. So I would say the one that's the simplest one, right? So if you got a big idea and it's going to take 6 different parts to actually complete it, man, work on that thing while you get the one that's simple, the quick win. That's what we call a quick win. You want to go for the quick win. So this right here, a dashiki is a quick win. I buy it, I put it up, somebody sell it, quick win. It doesn't take a whole lot to do this, right? But there may be other systems that I want to implement later on that's going to be more extravagant. It's going to have a lot of different moving parts. Well, that's a little bit longer in the process as far as a business maturity is concerned and things like that. So go for the quick wins, whatever that may be for you, something that you can get money right now. and then build from there with your other ideas, the other things that you want to bring, the other value that you want to bring to the marketplace?
Okay, so here's the cleanest answer I can give you, Antoinette. Have one thing be so daggone strong, and it's your engine, that the other projects you take time away from the engine to do don't kill the engine, right? Because some people will be real estate agents, but they're so busy investing in all these different other things, their first big engine died, right? And example, I'll give myself an example. I have my painting company and I have this YouTube thing. And I thought, man, this YouTube thing's gonna take off overnight. It's gonna be amazing. But what ended up happening is my engine became the painting company, or my engine became real estate with my family in North Carolina. You have to be focused. So another example, I have 3 big passions, right? And I'm talking about passion, like I want to do them. One is business, financials, credit. I just saw too many of my Korean friends' moms, just not wealth of knowledge, and they only been in America like 10, 15, 20 years, right? So I do this channel, I talk about it. Secondly is holistic living and fitness. Now, I'm not the fittest person you've seen, you know that, I'm not no fitness YouTuber, but the holistic information over here is about eating and food, and look at the food we're eating. Look how big the kids are. Look what's going on with the children. Look at all the diseases popping up that weren't there for our parents. If you watch any videos of 100-year-old people, they'll tell you, oh man, our mom used to make dinner and she'd go out in the backyard and get some vegetables and add them to the pot. She'd add them to whatever they got from the store. So that's that one passion there. That's the business passion over here. Then the third passion over here is guns and conservative issues. They don't all fit on one platform, but I can build them off to the side without killing the ghost that laid the golden egg. Now, here's even the more beautiful part about it. And again, there's an article I have called The Blog That Makes Money Forever, or How to Make Money Forever. I have videos. I have over 1,300 videos on this channel. Every day I wake up at this point, there was a point where I'd be like, why am I still doing this? And then about a year ago, every day, book sale, every day. Here and there is a credit repair sale. Every day there's something selling from old videos. There's something selling from new videos. So every day I wake up, now this business needs more of my attention, where I'm repairing credit. I'm outsourcing to one of my friends if I'm too busy. If you build it, I'm not saying they're gonna come, they're guaranteed to come, but if you build it and you let it sit, it might be more wealth to you. So if you've got 2 or 3 ideals that you can build on, if you're going to work every day and you can't leave your job yet, and you put an hour to your ideal and an hour to this ideal, at some point, one of them will be the stronger. At some point, like Evan said, one's going to pay you like this real quick. One's going to pay you like whoop, 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 whoop. And you're going to look up and be like, man, this is the winner. It just depends. So, and again, I don't know your ideals per se, so I'm just giving you generals here. I'm sorry, I'm gonna catch up to everybody's comments. I'm sorry. LaShawn Major, Erica, if it's not a problem, can I suggest a few sites you can invest in startups? LaShawn Major, you can put those in the comments. I will try to read some of them, as long as they're appropriate. Because there's an investing group called Todd's Capital. I really think you guys should try that one. It's a nice black guy called Charles. He started a investment group. I don't know if you saw that, Evan. I don't know if you did. But he has a light version, $25 a month, $100 version a month, and $1,000 version a month. And at some point, that financial group is going to buy real estate. Right now, they're buying stocks, they're buying big. You know, if you got 85 people throw in, you've got big dough to buy big things as an investment club. So that might be somebody you want to talk to, Evan, in the future. Todd Capital's founder. And I'll send you information on that. Okay, another one is Sister Ma. I invest in gold right now with Carrot Bars right now. Alvin Hollinger, Bitcoin Forex, bro, talking my language. You're talking his language, Evan. You're talking his language. Alvin Hollinger, got holdings, Bitcoin, gold, silver, been good. Money is everywhere. Accessing the money is the skill set needed. So, Evan.
Yeah.
I know we were in a very crazy conversation a couple days ago about men living with their mom. But again, another thing about that was group economics and building wealth together. If you can, summarize a smaller point, if you can, on group economics or building wealth with your family. If you can, we can speak to that.
I mean, the premise is that if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. If you want to go far, you go together. And the premise is that family, friend, however you want to look at it, is that we're in a society where power comes through capital, and too many people don't have capital. But if you pull your resources together, then as a unit, you'll have capital. You'll be able to pay off the house, right? What would it be like if you and your mom worked together to get the house paid off before you left the house? Now your mom will have to work another 20, 40 years to get that retirement check to still be paying on the house or the car or whatever the case may be, or to be able to save up for that college fund. So pulling your resources together, using a strategy to work together to get things done, that's just natural. That's what we do anyway. When we move out, we get a roommate because we want bills to be a little bit lower. So we'll do it with strangers, but why not do it with the people that you, if you have the opportunity to do it with the people that's you've been living with your whole life, or that raised you, or whatever the case may be. So I think about building a family legacy. I think about building an empire, a Jefferson empire. That's what I think about doing. So that would include, for me, people that are a part of my family. So not everybody, obviously, but for those that have the mindset to do it, that would be that's just one of my empires, though, right? I think you can have multiple empires. I think you have multiple wings to your castle. So
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have the family unit, and then we'll have the other unit over here. So but the premise is to be able to use leverage. See, here's what happens when you have leverage. When you have leverage, you literally can walk anywhere you want and make demands because you can pay for them. You can get benefits. Think about all the group benefits that people get when they get 10,000 people in the network. They all get discounts on their phone because they work together. But if you do it by yourself, you don't get that. So corporations understand this principle of leveraging our network and leveraging our corporate dollars. Well, you can do the same thing with your family.
For sure. I mean, 100. There's so many stories I could tell, but I'm going to keep it to a minimum. I will say I owned a coffee shop here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. If people ever, Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, they're over there. To my left was a family of two cousins who opened a barbershop. So they had 10 booths rented out. The two of them are in charge. Further down, one of those cousins co-owned a restaurant further down. Okay, yeah. Going this way was an Asian family who only been in America about 7 years and had credit cards to open the restaurant. Well, further down from us was a deli. And the guy had to go back to Iran because his family was sick and he could not stay. He's like, I can't stay. I have nobody to sell the deli to. Somebody help. Little did we know, my mom was like, I don't know how much he want for that deli. 20 grand. Let's see what he wants. Well, before the end of the day, because he had offered it to all the business people on the plaza. Before the end of the day, he offered it to the Asians, and the Asians haggled him to $10,000, and they had the cash to pay for it. So how do you think that happened? They lived together in a house that's like $45,000 in Fayetteville. So mom, brother, two brothers living in one house, and I'm pretty sure that house was paid off by year 2 of them being down in Fayetteville. But having that capital ready, nobody else on the block could turn around and give that man $10,000 in 72 hours, except for the Asian folk down there. And so $10,000 isn't a lot when you think about how much is in a deli, the seats, the chairs, the restaurant, the slicing machine. I mean, it was a steal. And my mom to this day is like, we could have got that. I'm like, I know, Mom, I know. So the key is you can go farther together than you can separately. That's why I always encourage, if you watch this channel, to go to meetupgroups.com, go to RIA groups, join. I'm in an apartment investing group. I don't have the big capital by apartment by myself, but I can be part of one of the 35 people in a syndicate. It depends on how you want to look at it. So we got some more comments. If you got time, a little bit more time?
I got about 6 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna squeeze it in. Okay, y'all heard the man, 6 minutes. Okay. L. Wright, what's a good realtor to get with in Texas? Okay, L. Wright, it just depends. Are you working with turnkey companies? Or are you working independently? You might have to hit me up on the side for that one. Alvin Hollinger, anyone have experience with realty shares or peer-to-peer real estate investing lending groups? I do, but the key is you have to get in there at 1,000 or 5,000. They don't really have it smaller yet, but they're starting to with, because you have over 50 real estate investing crowdfunding sites. And I wrote an article about that. So some are super flex, and then a lot are like, nah, you got to be a credit investor. Oh, and one or two are starting to have an REIT, and you can actually assess that for less than $1,000. LaShawn Major said, we funder, Start Engine, and Net Seed investing in startups. Again, people, y'all better make notes of this because these comments I'm reading don't go onto the regular YouTube channel. So again, LaShawn Major, if you want to go after the video is done and put it in the comments, hey, I appreciate it. But we funder, and it's WE Fund ER, Start Engine, and Next Seed. So and then we might have to go check them out, see what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Start Engine. I've used them before. And another thing is when you
like them?
Yeah, they got some pretty cool stuff, man. That's a great place if you are launching something yourself that you probably want to. It's a startup, but it's almost like an equity type of equity crowdfunding type of site. But also when you're a group, you get access to stuff like this that you don't get access to. Investment clubs get access to private opportunities that you wouldn't get access to as an individual. So that's another reason why it's good to be able to partner so that you can have access.
Yeah, I'm writing it down. Okay, we'll talk about that in another video. Would you choose family or friends who may not be as financially savvy but willing to be taught, or strangers who may have more established skill or experience? Which one would you choose?
I choose family.
Okay.
If somebody's willing to be taught, right? I don't need anybody to lead me in the financial department. I think every family has their own dynamics of who's good at what. So I wouldn't necessarily expect them to be superheroes when it comes to finances, right? But the same way that they won't expect me to be superheroes when it comes to doing laundry. So I'd rather work with the family who is willing to partner together because there is some level of blood is thicker than water aspect there. Now that I can trust them totally, but it will still be a dynamic of business and the way they're just set up. So I'd rather work with family.
Okay, so I'm torn on that issue. My number one is family who's willing to be taught, because I've actually seen families can move way faster. Just being honest, because you know each other. There's not that level of trust you got to build up and numbers, and there's just a lot of, you can move faster with family, but everybody has to kind of be on the same page and be teachable. Is a very important thing. I've seen a lot of people come home from college, they've got 20 or 30 grand, and they can start, they can open the mechanic shop, but they've got a cousin who's been a mechanic for years and can be the lead mechanic. Or they've opened the barbershop like the cousins I just talked about and bring the other cousin in to manage it because he's been a barber for years. Right, so it depends. You have more. There's a level more trust there. As long as you have a standard operating procedure of how y'all do business, you should be okay. Keyword is should. Always, check who you're dealing with. But if, like I'm here in Austin, and I had a friend offer, he's like, "Man, you want to buy that property? If you rent the other 2 rooms out, I'll go in with you. I don't have to live there, but if you rent them out to other girls, then me and you both get rental property. You live free and the girls pay rent." So, I mean, it depends. Depends on situations. What's your available opportunities? Also, Shanita, I don't know how to say your last name, Shanita, I'm sorry. Wish I saw this from the beginning. Great topic. Look, everybody, I don't want to kill Evan's time. I actually have to get out to a job site, check on my guys. I think they're all the way in Cal today. Cal Butte. But Evan will be back. We will get more on some of Evan's topics because Evan has a very interesting life. He has multiple shows, and we didn't even get into like a third of the stuff I wanted to ask Evan about his shows. So we're gonna try this again, and we'll have it a little bit better structured. I'll make sure I'll kind of hit Evan up in advance for our topic on that one. But I just want to thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for commenting. Again, as always, the links for Evan's businesses will be below. The links for my business will be below. Hit us up, reach out to us. Again, if you like the content, share the videos, share them on Facebook, share them wherever you want. It helps you, it helps us, and throw a like in there. Evan, please tell the customers where they can reach you at.
Yeah, you can find me at a couple different places, but the most popular place is going to be at my website, www.ergjj.net, ergjj.net. You can also find me at Facebook on my Facebook business page at ergjj.ent for enterprises, so ERGJ Enterprises. And I'm also heavy on Instagram now. Well, you can also find my store on ERG at ERGJ Black Bazaar. That's going to be on Facebook as well. The website is coming, ergjblackbazaar.com. That's BAZAAR, not Bazaar, but Bazaar. So those are a couple places that you can find me. And then I'll make sure that you have all my other tags and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and all that stuff as well. But I'm primarily on Facebook and obviously primarily on my website, and then Facebook being the secondary outlet for me.
Awesome. Listen, we're going to get back. We're going to hit him up when he goes about the bazaar, see if he's going to conferences. There's a lot of things we're going to hit EJ up, and we're going to actually talk about kids learning finances, because I want to do that one for my nephew. I told him I would do him one, and he's 10. So I'm do him a video. So everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Thank you guys for showing up. I will be making this video a blog article so I can kind of flesh out some of the conversations we had. ClassySCL.com. You want to check out more information there. Again, thank you guys for showing up. You guys make the show fun. So definitely thank you for your comments. Hey, thank you, Evan, for showing up. We'll see you again next week or in a week or two. We don't want to crush your schedule. I know you're a busy man. So everybody, I see you guys later. Thank you for showing up.